So we've seen that there is much fright and terror to be found in gaming, but as we all know, while games may look scary, only some truly are. Oh my. So let's take a chance and look at what makes games truly scary. Pow, pow.
I think the first really scary game, was probably Doom on the PC for me. I mean, I've been playing games for years before that, but I mean, you know, the graphics really hadn't gotten to a point. There was no real element of surprise. But I mean, you get in the dark and you turn up your stereo really loud and you play Doom, you know, for the very first time.
The scariest game I've ever played is Konami's Silent Hill. It's just got so many different elements that contribute together to make it really, really frightening and really, really creepy. Things like the monster designs. About half the monsters in it I don't think have skin, and the other ones are disturbing for other reasons. The sound is really frightening, it's really creepy, and just the overall atmosphere is just really eerie.
Half-Life on the PC that had some scenes where you'd be playing it, you know, in the daytime or nighttime, doesn't matter, and I'd just jump out of my seat. You'd be walking down a hallway or like an air vent, and you had just finished killing like 3 or 4 Marines, and so, you know, the adrenaline flow is gone, and you're just relaxed, and you're walking, and, you know, like a little head crab or an alien will just drop out of you out of nowhere.
I really think it's the surprise factor. I mean, with a story, you can only do so much. You can sit there and try and tell a scary story, but if you don't have any really scary kind of like elements to back it up, it's really not going to be that frightening. I mean, you might get creepy, but I don't think you would get scared.
One of the primary ones would be the unexpected. You know, anytime there's a feeling that something could happen at any moment, that's going to be tense. That's not necessarily going to be creepy or scary. There are other elements you'd have to combine to make it that. But that's one of the very first things is unpredictability, the unknown, you know, or something that's beyond the normal experience. All of those will create tension, and tension is sort of the base for creating creepiness or scariness on top of it.
If a designer wants to make a game scary, all he has to do is strip away those powers somehow, or create some sort of villain or obstacle that it just makes those powers void, and all of a sudden just makes the person playing the game, who's been relying on these abilities for so long, all of a sudden they don't work anymore, and the person playing the game will all of a sudden be scared and won't really know what to do.
I think the most important element of making a frightening game after playing Silent Hill is the environment, just the overall creepiness. Because any game can really, you know, just kind of pop something out at you and scare you. I mean, Resident Evil does that a lot, and it's cool. But the overall environment, being scared all the time, is something that Silent Hill does very well.
When used properly, you know, sound and music can make a game really scary.
There are certain games like Thief, The Dark Project, that don't necessarily look that great, but they sound so good. That game actually has one mission later on where you're, you know, where you're working your way through a haunted cathedral, and there are all these ghosts with their clanking chains walking around making these really scary noises, and that mission just came across as just unbelievably tense.
Again, it's all in how it's used, in not being too ham-fisted, not being too over the top, because that's where tension comes from, is not giving people too much, giving them just enough that they're wondering what the rest is, and then holding back. And if you do that effectively, then yeah, I think you can definitely make an experience that most people will find unnerving at the very least and scary at best.
Designers can really mess with the players by having stuff happen off to the sides, forcing them to turn and look, kind of this weird claustrophobic feeling.
When you can start putting sounds beside and behind people, that's even more unnerving because they can't see it. And once again, it's playing with the unexpected.
I think if you come to a certain point in a game when you just have to stop playing, or get up and turn the lights, or check the closet, or see what that noise upstairs was, then I think you're playing a scary game.
That's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. You can always join me for a chat at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. if I actually get out of here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll never leave the studio again.
That's disgusting.